Hey everybody. Okay, we have our little washcloth done. We've got all the rows. We've gone single, half double, double, all the way to finish with a single the way we started. It's a fairly square washcloth, okay? A lot of times when you end up and it's not square, it could be because you just crocheted tighter in one row or something, or as long as you didn't miss a stitch or whatever. If you could, tension can vary throughout a project. I cannot speak today. I don't know why that is. It's a very, very warm day and very windy. So I hope the wind doesn't bother you, okay? We're on the last single, okay? I'm going to close off the last single. Here, let me back this up just a hair. I'm sitting here on a bar stool. Close off the last single, okay? Now, normally what you would do is you would chain one, but you're not really chaining. What you're going to do is you're going to pull this through, and you're going to go to a spot, and you're going to just cut a decent length off. It doesn't have to be super long. And then you're going to pull this all the way through, okay? So what you've got is you've got a tail on both ends. Now, you don't have to do this, but this is a yarn needle. This is a plastic yarn needle. These are super cheap. I like the plastic ones over the metal ones. They're just, they just flex, and you can get a pack of these things really cheap. What you're going to do is you're going to thread this yarn needle, squeeze it tight, and just push it through here. If you can get it through there. Some days, I tell you. Okay. Now, what you're going to do with this is you're just going to weave in and out. It doesn't really matter where you do it. You're just going to weave in and out in one direction, and then and pull it through gently. Okay, this is actually a little too long. It's actually longer than it needs to be. And you can go up through here. This is just, I'm just, going a different direction. You don't, there's no exact place you've got to go. Go in and out. You can go several directions. This tail is too long. Hang on just a minute. I'm going to cut this tail a little bit. We don't need that much of a tail. Okay? And you're just going to weave this in and out different directions until you're satisfied that you've got enough things to do. See, you're just weaving it in and out. Hopefully this is going to focus on this and not what's over here. Let me move this stuff over. Maybe it'll focus better if it doesn't have something on the distance to focus with. And then at some point you're just going to trim this tail. Okay? Just, you've gone in and out and in and out. I mean, you've already basically got a knot in the corner anyway. You're just weaving in the tail. So when you put it in the washer, it's just really secure. All right? And you're going to go to the other side. Same deal. And you're going to push this through this yarn needle. Come on now. Come on in there. Getting distracted by the leaves blowing all over the place over here. It is so warm. The low tonight is going to be 61. Can you believe that? This is crazy for November in the mountains. Okay, so you do the same thing on the other end. You just pick you a place to go one direction. Go down one direction. Just be careful you're not picking up your yarn. You just want to go underneath all the yarn. Those stitches. Don't pull it tight. You're not trying to pull it tight. You're just going underneath, and you're just going to push it, go back and forth. You want to pick up the yarn. You just want to go underneath the stitches. It doesn't matter what direction you go. Just go a couple of, oopsie, you don't want to split a piece of yarn there. And you want to go back and forth. Make sure I can still see this. Oops, see, you don't want to split a piece of yarn. back and forth, and I'm going to come back through here. It doesn't even matter, just as long as you go several different directions, weave in that tail really well, and then cut that off. That's all you got to do. Okay? These are old scissors. My goodness, they need sharpening. Goodness. Okay, so now you've got this little wash rag, and you could use this as is. Okay, you don't have to do anything to it. And you could have woven that tail in with a smaller hook than this. Get a smaller millimeter hook. You could do that. But you could actually take a contrasting yarn, and I'm not going to do the whole thing here. In fact, I don't even remember how I used to do this because it's been a while since I did this. And I can't even remember how I did this, honestly. Start in a corner. Okay, and I usually take this and bring this through. Just kind of knot it in there. See if I can get this to do what I want it to do. I'm trying to remember how I used to do this. I hardly remember. If you can secure it, do a slip, basically a slip knot thing here on the corner. Okay, Cynthia. Okay. Miss Cynthia's trying to remember how she used to do this. Okay. All you have to do is basically go down the... Okay. My battery went dead. That's always the way it is. I thought I had enough battery power. Alright, I did the first half double crochet. I'm going down the side. Now there is not any specific place that you need to go on the side. Just grab in whatever place you can grab, because the stitches are not going to be the same thing you see on the top. This is the side. We're just going down the side, and all we're going to do is just go in holes down there fairly evenly apart. We're going to make us an edge. It just makes it look a little more finished. I mean, you don't have to do this. It's not going to come apart because you don't. And you just basically grab any place down here. I mean, let me see if I can see. You can see what I'm doing here. I mean, I'm just grabbing, just going into any hole here and pulling through. Shoot, I can't see. Hang on, let me back this up. Oh my goodness. Trying to see what I'm seeing, what you're seeing is hard. Okay. Okay, this is the side. These are the sides. So the stitches go that way. The side is over here, and there's no real stitches you're going into. You're just going into holes on the side. I got to keep this in mind. I can't watch what I'm doing and watch the camera at the same time. Okay, I'm just doing half doubles all the way down. And when I get to the corner, I'm going to do 2 or 3 half doubles in the corner in order to turn the corner. This is how you edge. Okay? I mean, there's no perfect... Somebody may do better than this. This just kind of makes it a little bit more interesting, the washcloth, to me. Let me go ahead into the corner so I can show you what I do. And I'm not putting it in any specific place. I'm just putting it in any place I can find on the edge. Just so that it's fairly uniform distance apart. I mean, it just doesn't really matter. I mean, it's not brain surgery. There's no, there's no wrong place to put it necessarily when you're doing something like this. And, you may find your preference to do, when you get used to doing this, you may find a way that you like to do it that's different than the way I'm doing it. And that's fine. There's no necessarily right and wrong way. Now, do you see, we are to the corner now. We are to the corner. And there is a corner piece here. I'm putting this into the corner, and I'm going to do 3 double crochets in the corner in the same space. 1. Oops, I didn't yarn over, did I? Yarn over. 1, 2. Oops, another corner. 3. Do you see what that does? Do you see what that does? You put 3, whether you're edging with a double, a half double, or a single, on each corner, you put 3 of in the same hole. Doesn't matter which kind you're using, what stitch you're edging with, and I'm just doing half doubles. When you get to the corner, you put 3 in the same one, and that gives you a nice rounded curve. There, you learned something else new. Now we're going to what is basically the bottom. Let me see if I can actually, I don't know if this is any better. Maybe I need to turn. Maybe I need to turn a little bit. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can get this right here, okay? Okay. Now I'm just going to do the edging to the bottom here. All across the bottom. And it just doesn't matter. I mean, there may be some logical, you may see a logical place, but look at how that looks. You see that? Look at that. 3 stitches in the corner, and look, it made its own little curved corner. How about that? That's neat that way. I'm just going to go all the way down. I'm just sticking it in each. On the bottom, it'll look more like, it'll be easier to see what looks like a stitch on the bottom than it does on the side. There'll be logical places on the bottom to put these edging stitches than there are on the sides. The sides are a little bit, you just kind of put them where it looks logical. These, there's actually, let me show you this. See, there's actually places on this end. If you can see, here, let me see if I can show you. Here, 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 here. That's where I'm putting. This is the bottom of that washcloth. Which is actually the first. This was the first chain we made. This is the first row of single crochets that we did, which is what I'm calling the bottom. The original row. Okay. Okay. And remember, keep it loose. Don't be too tight with it. When you start having a hard time doing your stitches, you'll know you're holding things too tight. Loosey-goosey. If you find yourself doing that, stop, roll your shoulders, flex your fingers. And we'll get down to this other corner, and we'll do the same thing. Oops. Nope. See, I skipped that one. I wasn't paying attention. I looked at the camera for a minute, and I skipped something. So I need to make sure I do this. Don't skip a place, or it's going to have a gap in it. I mean, it's still going to be a washcloth, but if you want to make something for someone else, you probably want it to look pretty good, right? So, okay. I don't know about this angle. This is harder on my back right here to do it this way, to bend over and try to look at the camera at the same time. Okay, we are to the corner now. We're going to do 3 of those stitches in the corner space. Okay, 3 of the exact same stitches in the same space. 1, 2. We're going in the same hole. Same exact hole right here. With 3 stitches. And look at that. Look at that. It just makes a nice little curve. And now we're going back to the side. My least favorite place to edge, because there's no logical place to put anything. You're just sticking it in whatever hole you want to stick it in, and trying to make it, I don't want to go in that one. Trying to kind of make it, well, you are a persnickety little stitch right there. Come back in. A little tight stitch there. Okay. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness. Some days, I tell you. Okay. You wouldn't be having this trouble if you were doing it, sitting here not trying to show somebody else how to do it. That's the thing. Okay, I'm trying to make sure you can see this. I'm not sure this is a better angle or not than over my shoulder. Okay. So, we yarn over, Stick it wherever you can stick it that's in a logical place. You see I'm trying to just space these on the side, just space them fairly evenly, because there's no real stitches on the side that you can, this logical place. They all look different. You'll see what I mean when you do your own, if you haven't done it. Okay. My husband's in there going to watch the Georgia game. I think Georgia's playing Tennessee this afternoon. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's see. Well, I love about crochet is it's so forgiving. I wasn't planning to show you how to edge this. I really wasn't. But I thought, you know, I really like the edging. I like to put an edging on my washcloths. In that little 2-hour dishcloth book that my friend Terry gave me, every one of them has some beautiful edging. Every one of them has a little different edging on it. And you can get fancy as you want to. And you might want to use some of those fancy edgings. Okay, so we're back to this first corner where we're going to have to do 3 in the corner. 1, 2, in the same space. And we have another little corner turned. And now we're to the top here. And now this is going to be the easy place, because this is where you can actually see your stitches. So this is just half doubles. Like I said, you can do this edging. You can do half doubles. You can do go around it in a doubles, a crochet stitch. You can go around in a single. It doesn't matter. There are either other fancy edgings. There's where you can make shell shapes, where you put several double crochets in one stitch, and it makes like a shell shape. I'll actually get this right in a minute. Okay, so let's see. We're almost there, and I'll show you how to finish this off when you get to the corner, okay? I should have probably done, let me get this tail out of the way. Okay. Now when I started, I didn't put 3 in the first corner. I could have done that. It already has 1 in there, so I could put 1, 2. And if it doesn't look right, you can always put another one. And then the way you close this off, you're back to the beginning. Now, this is the way you'll close this off. You'll take this and you'll go into the, underneath the first stitch you made, the top of the first stitch you made right here. Pull your yarn through. And you can either yarn over and pull that through, or you can go ahead and just pull this straight through. I usually yarn over and pull this straight through. And then you could make you a tail on this. You could actually crochet you a little loop. I'm not going to show you that today, but let me cut this and pull this through. Okay. And of course now you've got another tail to weave in. And of course, you know that these are 2 different yarns, so one has more stretch than the other, and it doesn't matter. I mean, while you're using it, you're also pulling on it, so you can block it off. You can. One thing you do is you can take it and put it onto a board, a padded board. You can pin the corners and square it up and wet it down and leave it there to dry, and it will actually come back into shape. But of course, I'm going to have to weave in both of these tails on this. But there you go. There's your washcloth. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed this little crochet interlude for a change. if you would like to see more of that kind of video, let me know. And what kind exactly would you like me to show you? A different type of project? Would you like to show me to show you a little bit more complicated project? Would you like me to just sit and crochet and have you look over my shoulder while I just talk about other things? Because my lovely friend Dove said, she said, just watching you do this is so relaxing. So even though you may not want to take this up yourself, and as Pam said, you know, she's got other avenues for relaxation, and that is perfectly fine. This is not for everybody. Quilting is not for everybody. As long as you have something, as long as you've got something that you can immerse yourself in to get away from the stress of our current world today. And we may have a lot more stress coming up. So let me know if you'd like to see any more crochet type videos. I know I've got a couple of quilting tutorials, but that requires machine. Crochet requires a hook. And then this is really the only real equipment you have to crochet. And even some big fat yarns, you can actually do it with your fingers. I mean, they're big as round as my finger. I mean, those kind of yarns I'm talking about, blanket yarns. But let me know what you'd like to do. I bought some more yarn today. I had to go to a different Walmart than my closest one. My closest one basically has nothing. The one is about 22 miles away, which is the third closest one. It has a good bit more. It's just as small as that one. It's got a lot more. So, just let me know what you would like to do. I can show you more complicated stitches. Just do a one-stitch video, like a bobble stitch, a cluster stitch, the treble or triple stitch, triple crochet stitch, which that shawl that I showed you, the big beautiful like a seafoam green kind of shawl, or light teal, I don't know what you call that color. I think it's called sage, but I wouldn't call that sage green. That particular one uses a lot of treble crochet and a lot of double crochet, 7 together, which is a whole nother thing. But if you like show me, you would like me to show you more types of stitches, or just do another project. I have some beautiful scarves that use cluster stitches that are just so pretty. They're not hard. They use more yarn. The more yarn that is in one stitch, the more yarn you're going to use in the project. So I hope you enjoy this. Let me know what you think and what you would like to see. Or if you don't want to see any more crochet, let me know that too. I mean, you won't hurt my feelings at all. So I just want to do something different. I just wanted to do something different and not talk about anything unpleasant for a change. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Bye.